welcome back to Making It with Minglet. Today it's Saturday and we are finishing up the Midsummer Streamathon, and we are so grateful for anyone who's come along for this journey. It has been very exciting, and if you have missed any of the streams throughout the week, I know it's almost impossible to see the ones that are going all through the night. Um, I tried to support the channels that I was able to watch during the day, but I plan to go back and watch the rest of them because I don't want to miss any of the goodness that was put out there. Lots of great content, lots of variety. So do go by and look at that. Uh, if you want to research it, go into your social media and look for hashtag Midsummer Streamathon, and you will find the playlist. And you will find a playlist for the videos that I've put up. So, today's going to be kind of a I need to get it done, so we're going to do it now kind of thing. I'm working on the journal that will be donated to the Cluster Busters in their conference in September. And mushrooms are very important to this organization, and I will put the link in the website if you want to research it. If you know anyone with cluster headaches, provide them with the link because there is some life-saving information there. That's all I'm going to say about it. You saw me at the first of the week showing this bag, and I ended up, kind of decoupaging some stuff on it to make it look better. I have got myself two little paper brats, and I am actually using this sturdy bag as my cover. So I have already stitched in the signature, and I've done a little bit on the pages, but not everything. So now I'm at the point where, I've got to go in and fix things like this, and I also need to start doing some decorating. So yesterday, I played on my gel plate again, and I got out my mushrooms, and here is, if you want to look for these, I'll have the link in my description. But these are designed by Darcy Sanders. It's called Funky Mushrooms Galore, and you see that where you can find them at PM Artist Studio. So I'm going to set that to the side. But I just got funky. When I think about mushrooms, I think about, just all the fun colors that you see. So I'm going to show these to you. And I will cut some of these out, and then I'll use the scrap for, just random stuff throughout. This one I thought was going to come out a lot better than it did, but it turned out with a good background. It had a good potential for turning into goose poop or, poopy brown. And I used mostly, on these, I used mostly either deli paper or just straight up tissue paper. Now, I was pleased with this one. It's got, kind of a rusty color. It's got some orange in it. I think this came out of a pair of shoes. This is not regular tissue paper. And then, the other day, you saw me use a roller. This is a clean one. But I started playing with those rollers when I took them out of my water jar. And I started rolling the moisture out across my gel plate. And I found out that it makes some interesting stuff. I just picked up some, really scrap paper that I wasn't pleased with. And look at that. So just know that even if it doesn't directly have paint on it, if it has had paint, if you put it on your gel plate and you press it down, you can get some more juice out of it. It's kind of like if you used, if you took a bottle and it was almost empty and you added water to it to make like a washout. it was similar to that in the way it responded, because it bubbled and separated on the plate. Well, if I leave that and let it dry and then come back, you can pick up some fun stuff. Or if you pick it up wet, just be sure that you do not overlap your papers. But I got this one and this one that are in some of the colors that I will be using today. So let's just get started here, because it is early Saturday morning and we know some of us are awake and some aren't. Alright, help me remember where I put my pen. I put it up at the top. Oh wait, if I put it in this little container, I won't lose it. Good idea, Lisa Mingus. And I gotta turn this one this way because I can't glue it if it's upside down. I can always tell who opened the envelope by how it was opened. If it's smooth and there's no tears or anything in it, that means that my husband opened it with a letter opener. Me, I slide my finger under it and make a mess. So I have to seal the pockets up on the ones that came from his room. And I realize I'm very hoarse, so I apologize for that. I think some of these I got ahead of time. But I don't know about you, but I have had my envelopes, if I glue them before I paint them, I have had that glue to get moist and roll back up. So I do it both ways, but I always know that there's a chance I'm going to have to go back over it. Alright, we're looking good there. And before we turn that page, let's make sure we don't have anything hanging out that's going to stick. And as you can see, it's a little bit on the wild side. This is particularly paper. This is from the agenda from last year. We usually have a few left. And they use a very nice paper, heavyweight paper. So if they're going to put them in the recycle bin, I generally will bring them home and use them for the journal the next year. And that's just, being smart, using what you have. I mean, it prints pretty good. I always try to put like a base coat on it before I do a gel print on it, because the print, that prevents the print from coming through on my plate. If I do the schedule, the agendas directly to my plate, sometimes I end up with writing on it and the lines. So I have to be a little bit careful with that. And that's a funny seam right there. So let's glue that shut. And if I decide I want to make a pocket out of it, we'll just cut it back out. It'll be alright. And this is where I got my gel plate too wet. Have you ever done that? Yeah, it happens. And I'll do the best to repair it, and if it doesn't work, I'm not going to stress. I will find a way to incorporate that as if it was just right, all was right with the world. There's another little place. I got that one down because I caught it soon enough. I try to make these journals fun. I do leave places for people to write, but I do add some artistic flair. And this year I'm not gonna put as much as art in it as I normally do, because the lady that has gotten them for a couple of times, she said, "I love how much art you have. For me that's perfect." But she said, my husband said he would like his to have more writing space. And I said, okay, well, I'll take that under advisement. So that's all right. That makes it easier for me. I don't know about you, but I love smart glitter glue. It's so easy to use and it dries so fast. But I do use other glues. If I know that I'm doing something that's going to have some time to think about itself, or it needs, I may need a little more time to work with it, I will use something totally different. Art glitter glue dries very rapidly, and if you have need for a lot of it in a space, you're better to work in small areas so you don't get lumps. I got enough lumps without, passing it on to my artwork, so. Alright. I hope that you're able to watch the videos as they roll out today. I will be on at 10, from 10 to 12, I think it is. With Texture Junkies today. We're going to be working live in the books that we are altering. And she's way ahead of me in the book situation, because I had a book I thought I was going to use, but when I got into it, the pages were just too fragile. So I had to find another book, and I had it in my heart what size book I wanted. And when I could not find it, I was getting aggravated. I kept going up to the library thinking, a book's going to come in, a book's going to come in from the Friends of the Library. And I finally ended up stopping by Goodwill the other day, and I found exactly the size I wanted. It's not as old as I would have liked it to be, but the size was spot on. So I said, okay, well, we'll make that work. You notice I've used a lot of envelopes. Envelopes are just a great way to get, some variation on your pages and not have everything just the same. And this was one of my first pieces that I did with the inks, the Daler-Rowney sepia ink. And I really was impressed, with the way it come through. This is on deli paper, and the butterfly had been stenciled on previously. And when it come through, I thought it made kind of a nice illusion. Alright. We're almost through with these envelopes. I appreciate you staying with me. We're going to get to the fun stuff, I promise. If you hear the doorbell ring, it'll be Walmart. They've changed the way that they deliver now in our area. It used to be that you'd get a 1 hour window. Well, then it went up to 2. Now they've changed it to a 3 hour window. So somewhere between 7 and 9 o'clock, they're going to deliver some groceries. At least they're supposed to. And I wouldn't have even had to order groceries, but when I ordered earlier in the week, they were out of so many of the staples that I use every week. There was no way around it. Okay, now we're back to the very beginning. This was cut out of a magazine, and one of the things about cluster busters is, there's a fear, always swirling around inside their heads that, they're going to get an attack. And, they're always hoping that if that attack comes, that they're not out in public, or, they can be quickly hidden and deal with the condition. Because if you see someone having a cluster headache and you have never seen it before, it could be terrifying. A lot of them carry cards with them that says, I'm having a medical emergency, and it explains what to do, how to care for them and stuff. And that was one of the best things I think that they ever did, as far as trying to help people understand or know what to do. So people that are still able to work, that have cluster headaches, they give those to the people they work around to educate them. And that's one of the things, the big things that the cluster busters do. They are advocates for people with cluster headaches. Cluster headaches have been known as suicide headaches as well, because before people knew a lot about them, they just knew that there was a high suicide rate, in people that had this condition. And now we've got all these wonderful people that are working with each other and trying to help make people's lives better and give them a better quality of life. And they do a lot of advocating. They're constantly on the go, trying to, speak with people in the government, health officials, and such, so that they can get the word out, get doctors educated. Well, this particular year, they are actually going to have doctors attending to learn more about treating cluster headaches, because in their training, most doctors don't receive more than about an 8-hour day of cluster headache training. So it's a big deal. It's a big deal. And I know I don't have the cluster headaches my husband does, but meeting these people and getting involved in this community has been something that has been very meaningful in our lives. So taking a little bit of time to make something for them to help raise funds, I feel good about it. As of yet, I haven't sold any of my work. Well, I take that back. I did. My neighbor wanted to buy something, and I sold her something because that's what she wanted. Okay, so that's kind of blending in since it's done on tissue paper, and I will probably come back and put some kind of sentiment in here. Don't know what I want to do there yet. I'll just flip through and we'll do some various pages, because I don't want to do them all the same. I think this gel print was done by Darcy. She had a D-stash day, and I was able to get some of those, and I think that I want to put one of her mushrooms on here. So let's see. Do we go with that one kind of goes with the waves in it, or do we do? Let's go with the round one. I don't think my cutting hands are awake this morning. You notice I use small scissors more than I use my big ones. They're easier for me to manage. And this is my favorite pair of scissors right here. We got them at of all places, a gun show. There's a man that comes that has he sells surgical instruments, because some people use those tools to help them with their cleaning projects. And I've got 3 pair now. I wasn't with him one day, and he come home and he had me 2 more pair. But we haven't found another pair like this, so it's like I guard them with my life. He said he's surprised I don't keep them around my neck, and I said, well, but I'm a scissor person. I have scissors everywhere, because my hands don't do what they're supposed to do all the time. And it's better to do that than it is to just struggle. Alright, now where, how? Oh, I don't know that I like it there. I think it might actually do better over here on the envelope, because that's got a variated color. So let's do that. I usually go in and put some crazy heads in there, making some wonky faces. I drew one last year, and the lady that got it, she said that was hysterical. And I think after watching Peg from Two Old Crows do her wonky faces, I'm thinking if I can watch that again, and maybe I can make a wonky face, because when people are having a cluster headache, they're getting what feels like a stabbing pain in their eye. They call it like an ice pick, deep into, and going deep beyond the eye. And people make some horrible faces. The muscles, start contracting, acting weird. So a wonky face, might be a happy relief. That, I'm not sure what I'll do with that yet. I have, let me look and see if I've got these stickers that I get with my medicine from the pharmacy that I put on the gel plate. And sometimes I'm able to use those to cover those spots up. That may become a pocket, and that may be at the top of it, so we'll see. I'm going to leave that sticking there while I think about that. And this page I like. I may just put a note card on this one. And that one I've already worked on. This is some of the stationery that came from the hotel we stayed at. Oh, sorry folks. When we were at our conference in Glasgow. And this page is over the top, so it needs something to kind of tone it down. These marks right here, these were made on the gel plate with the end of a celery stalk. Once you cut all the green off of it, you've got that stalk left with the roots, where the roots would have been. This definitely is going to have something fun on it. Those colors would be good, but they're way too, those are too big. Oh yeah, look, if I use that, the pattern's going to show through, so let's go with that one. And once these dry, I can always go over and around them with some kind of pen. It may be a fine marker, or even colored pencils will work. So there's some other things that can be done to get it to where it looks its best. Now, I know I'm not going to have time to finish this, but I will probably do a flip through of it on my channel. If you're not subscribed, would you take a moment and consider subscribing to my channel? I do videos usually about once a week, but lately I've been going crazy. In August, I did the jelly postcard play, and I did, for 31 days, I did the postcards. And I also did the Junk Journal of July with Meg's Journals. So that was the first time I had done that, and the jelly postcard was new as well. It was a new project. And I had a lot of fun doing it, but I tell you what, I wasn't meant to stream every day. I do it, I do try to do one a week, and it's usually on Mondays, but, come back. I may have some quick videos for you. You may find them in my shorts. And like I said, I will be on with Sharon at Texture Junkies later on today, and Kylie Koo is going to join us as moderator, and we're going to have a good time. So, you know, if you're still having your coffee, come on and join us, and let's have some fun. Yeah, see, I cut that, and then I left some of the edge, but down here I didn't have that much where I tried to pile it on the plate. So we will make some kind of adaptation there for that. And if I do a gel pen now, it won't have time to dry, so we're not going to go there. This is too dark. I need something to lighten it up. I'm going to tear a piece of this paper that does not have a mushroom on it. And I'm just free tearing it. I'm not grabbing I could grab a ruler and do probably a better job. But like I said, I try to make these a little bit wonky because the people they're going to will appreciate them. Yeah, that works. When I use dark envelopes, that's the one thing, you know, you can't write on them. You've got, well, I could write on them with a white pen, but, you know, you got to think about whoever's receiving it, you know, if they're going to have what they need to be able to make it a functional piece or not. And my desk is real rattly today. My apologies. Let's find that other side of blue and see if we can get some more goody stuff off of here. There's that sound. Don't you love it? The sound of paper. Tearing, ripping, shredding. When I used this glue stick the other day, it was so wet. It was like a disaster because I glued a doily. And that was not the best thing to have done, but I didn't know exactly how to do it, what I need to do to it. Now that's still got a little bit of writing on it, and I kind of want to distract from that. Now we're just going to go over here, right over here to the middle. Okay, if I put that one there, I know you can't even see that, can you? You can see the blue one. These were flop-offs. And flop-offs are when you've got paint on your stencils and you just put it on a piece of paper, press it down, you know, see if you can get anything. You may get something, you may not. And like I said, this is paper that came out of a pair of clogs, actually. My daughter she had gone to Maine and she picked out some clogs, and they handmade them for her, and they sent them last week. And she had that tissue paper. She said, "Mom, this is different. Do you want it?" Yes, I do. So when I started doing my gel plating sessions this week, I tried it. And you really had to lift it quick, but hey, it worked. Now, since this is so light, I will probably go over it, but it's like having a coloring book. You know, you've got some lines, you've got a design on it. You don't have to figure out what you're going to do with it. Uh-oh. Well, that's just not quite going to fit. Okay, so let's be prepared to modify our plan, as P will say. And that seems to ring pretty true for a lot of things. Alright, we have modified this mushroom. You've been modified. Alright, well, we have run out of time. So please come back. I will have this in a finished state within probably a week. My goal is to have the 2 journals that I'm working on actively for the conference, is to have those ready by next week. So, you know, come in, check out my channel. I do all kinds of mixed media. You never know what I'm going to do. Sometimes I'll take you down to see my fairies and take you around my neighborhood, or, you know, I'll share some other things, but they'll be labeled whether it's an arty thing or not. Thank you so much for coming along, and for all the new people that have subscribed to my channel, I do thank you. I'm excited to see my channel grow, and I thank you for your support. And I look forward to seeing you throughout the day in the streams. So for now, be well, my friends. Bye-bye.